Can anyone name that tune? That's Johannes Brahms' Academic Festival Overture. And it was the inspiration for the title of our homecoming event. Just over 10 years ago, when President Furman and Suzanne Murphy, Vice President of Development here at TC, had the vision to create a spectacular homecoming event that would re-engage alumni by showcasing the very best of what is Teachers College, Provost Tom James cleverly suggested Academic Festival, and so here we are. Welcome to Academic Festival X, 10 years in the making. It has been my delight to have brought this vision to life for the past 9 years. This is one of my favorite days of the year because it truly brings together the entire TC family. And year after year, we continue to engage more faculty, more students, and more alumni. We've made a few tweaks to the program this year, but trust me, you're in for a real treat today. It's a bittersweet day for me today because this will be the final academic festival that I get to do with President Furman at the helm. I'm fortunate that I get to work so closely with President Furman, and by being here at TC, I can experience the impact that she's made across campus every day. But some of you may not know the extent of her work. So if you'll indulge me just a little bit, I'd like to mention just a few of her most impressive accomplishments over the last 12 years. Nearly half of TC's world-class faculty was hired under Susan's tenure. She has fostered the creation of innovative programs and centers. These include TC's Department of Education Policy and Social Analysis, which has become one of the country's top training grounds for future education policy leaders. The Executive Master's Program for Change Leadership, which prepares leaders for some of the world's most influential organizations to respond to social and economic change. And the Lori M. Tisch Center for Food, Education, and Policy, which conducts influential research and policy regarding food and nutrition. Susan also helped to launch programs such as the nation's first master's degree program for diabetes educators, the Ivy League's first master's program in spirituality and psychology, and an annual summer institute on teaching and learning in racially diverse schools. I could go on, but I'm worried that I'll get tired of hearing my own voice. So instead, by way of highlighting more of Susan Furman's legacy that will live on here at Teachers College, we've prepared this lighthearted video.
She is the very model of a TC chief executive, expanding on our triumphs for 11 years consecutive. In fact, her desk the very one James Earl Russell had breakfast with. She is the very model of a TC chief executive. She is the very model of a TC chief executive, expanding on our triumphs for 11 years consecutive. In fact, her desk the very one James Earl Russell had breakfast with. She is the very model of a TC chief executive. From the day she took the job, her plans were sure no mystery, to build upon the many firsts of TC's dazzling history. From Dewey, Dodge, and Thorndike all the way to Maxine Greene and OG. Now we're reinventing physics ed with hip-hop pedagogy. She isn't just a well-regarded expert in school policy, but being very learned with an interest in our knowledge, she has brought us fame despite our name as leaders in psychology, and taught those ed tech firms a thing or two about technology. She isn't just a well-regarded expert in school policy. She isn't just a well-regarded expert in school policy. She taught those ed tech firms a thing or two about technology. When it comes to innovation, she's not lacking in audacity.
She's green-lighted new courses with incisive perspicacity.
In learning analytics, civics, and financial literacy.
And even Dr. Ruth to give advice on sexuality.
Alumni from around the world are checking in to say hello.
Salam.
Hola.
Ni hao.
Namaste.
Guten Tag.
What up, yo?
Right now there's 90,000, but we're on a growth trajectory. Be sure to check your mailbox for a brand new print directory.
Be sure to check your mailbox for our brand new print directory. With 90,000 great alums, we're on a growth trajectory.
On her watch, we've raised 300 million, not too shabby, hey. And now the street outside our door has been proclaimed the TC way. We've digitized our offerings and wired our historic halls, and plugged a leak or two that's marred our charming 19th century walls. She started up a public school that's now the pride and glory at our college, 'cause it's likely home to future Nobel laureates. And if you're feeling curious, then you can read the story at our website, which spotlights our contributing professoriate.
For students who get queasy when we send them their tuition bills, she's focused on her scholarships and raise a bunch of cash, and still she will not rest until the best and brightest can afford the tab. So won't you write a check and go home in a bus and not a cab? She will not rest until the best and brightest can afford the tab. She will not rest until the best and brightest can afford the tab. So won't you write a check and go home in a bus and not a cab?
No college saves the world alone across the arts and sciences. So she's traveled round the world establishing alliances with China, Jordan, and Brazil and other global giantses, with ministries and NGOs and lots of other cliences.
The first female to lead TC, she's focused on diversity. She sought to put the universe back into university. Social justice is our mission, and she has been resident. So raise a cup and give it up for TC's lovely president.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. You know, it's hard to give a talk when you're crying, so please sit down. And welcome to the 10th Academic Festival at Teachers College. I have to say a word about the Spark Notes. Are they not amazing? Yeah. So our music students are just the best in the world, as you well know, and I'm sure those of you of my generation appreciated the blending of the traditional Blue Moon with the doo-wop version, and it's just fantastic. Academic Festival is TC's homecoming, and so I want to begin by extending a special welcome to those who have called TC home the longest, the members of our Golden Alumni Association, who graduated from TC 50 years ago or more. Would our Golden Alumni, it says please stand, but would you wave if you prefer? Welcome. We're so happy to have you back here at TC. A hearty welcome to all TC alumni, and a shout out and thank you to Phyllis Kosov, who made possible our lecture later this morning. We'll hear more about Phyllis in a little bit. Welcome to our trustees, Camilla Smith representing our trustees, and our alumni council members, our faculty past and present, our visiting educators and scholars, our friends and family from near and far, and our extraordinary distinguished alumni award winners and other honorees. We also extend a warm welcome to special guests who we hope will join the ranks of our illustrious alumni, the talented women and men who've been admitted to TC this summer or fall, and who I enjoyed meeting yesterday at our Mix and Mingle, and who I hope attendance at today's events will seal the deal for them. So see you in September. Today's Academic Festival offers you more opportunities to get a taste of TC. Feel free to drop in to hear from eminent TC faculty and alumni who are collaborating across disciplines to solve problems, advance social justice, strengthen communities, and build a better future. If you can, stick around for this afternoon's poster session showcasing very exciting research by some of our many outstanding students. And by all means, introduce yourselves to current students, faculty, and alumni here today. They'll tell you why TC provides an ideal and unique environment to grow as an educator, scholar, professional, and leader. Finally, by way of introduction, I'd like to recognize the next president of Teachers College, Dr. Tom Bailey. Stand, Tom. Tom is the founding director of TC's nationally renowned Community College Research Center, a great leader and institution builder. So congratulations, Tom, and I'm so happy to know that TC will be in your very, very capable hands. I love Academic Festival for many reasons. I love it for the light it shines on the breadth and depth of TC's groundbreaking work across education, health, and psychology. I love it for the light it shines on the critical challenges and problems we face personally, professionally, and as a society. I love it for the spotlight it gives to our distinguished alumni, and indeed to all our accomplished alumni. And I love the themes that have shaped each festival. Our highlight reel at the beginning of the program gave you a very quick glimpse of some of these themes. Taken together, they tell the story of our aspirations and progress over the past decade. So I'd like to take a few moments to revisit a few of them as a way of celebrating all the ways we've built on TC's historic legacy of firsts in education, psychology, and health. Take our 2010 Academic Festival theme that resonates more powerfully than ever, Leadership Defining the Next Generation, which had to do with TC setting the bar for cutting-edge work. We certainly lead our peers in research, having topped $60 million in sponsored research this past year. But more impressive is the impact of our research. Some of the many, many examples include Sharon Lynn Kagan's influence on early childhood education policy in nearly every state and many nations. Kim Noble's studies on how poverty affects brain development and whether monthly cash stipends for young mothers can minimize these effects. And Peter Coleman, joining us today, application of systems theory to the understanding of persistent violent conflict. I'm proud that nearly half our current faculty was hired during my tenure, the fruits of our determined efforts to recruit the best and most innovative teachers, scholars in their fields. They will keep up the tradition of TC First. The 2011 theme, Learning to Live Well, Bringing Education to the Table, showcased and anticipated TC's role as a leader in health promotion. Our leadership stature in health and wellness has been growing steadily ever since. In 2012, we established the Lori M. Tisch Center for Food, Education, and Policy, led by Pam Cook, and the center is now widely recognized for cutting-edge research on food and nutrition that is shaping school and government policy. Our experts in movement sciences keep developing novel interventions, such as Andrew Gordon's groundbreaking movement therapy for young people with cerebral palsy. TC's work in confronting health disparities continues to have real-world impact. For example, Charles Bash's study of the links between health conditions and academic underachievement among low-income students and students of color has led to greater health interventions at schools, such as the use of eyeglasses for students who are having trouble reading the chalkboard. Our 2012 theme, I guess that was 2012, so 2013, Rewiring the Learning Landscape, also anticipated major progress that followed. When you visit our beautifully renovated high-tech classrooms today, as well as the Digital Learning Showcase in the fantastic Smith Learning Theater, you'll get a glimpse of how much higher tech our campus has become. At the same time, TC has dramatically raised its game in the study, development, and use of intelligent technologies to advance teaching and learning. In recent years, we've launched programs in creative technologies, the digital design of games, and pioneered a graduate program in learning analytics, the use of technology and large-scale data to better understand how learners learn. We're becoming a major player in the rapidly growing field of education technology. EdTech at TC goes far beyond product output. TC scholars are building on their own expertise to better understand the social, emotional, and cognitive factors in learning, and they are applying this knowledge to assessment and best practices in education technology. The exhibition in the Learning Theater will also introduce you to exciting new digital professional development programs geared especially to our alumni and other working professionals who are seeking new credentials or perhaps new career paths or just to update their knowledge and skills. Our expansive array of online courses, programs, and institutes include TESOL, nursing education, bilingual speech pathology, college advising, and soon, a certificate program in medical education. The 2016 Academic Festival theme, Full Steam Ahead, celebrated the marriage of technology and the arts by showcasing the innovative interdisciplinary work of our Arts and Humanities Department. A great example is our 2-year-old multimedia art education program called Creative Technologies, developed by Professors Judith Burton and Richard Yoakum. While you're here, be sure to sign up for a tour of Richard's curated exhibit of immersive works of social imagination displayed across campus. Our new Teaching Artist certificate also exemplifies TC's efforts to build on our strengths. This innovative program equips visual and performing artists with pedagogical skills and tools to teach in diverse public schools. In the field of STEM education, faculty such as Erica Walker and Christopher Emden are using the power of the humanities to get more students of color really hooked on math and science. Erica through interpersonal and community socialization, and Chris through hip hop and rap. Last year's festival theme, Making a World of Difference, perfectly captured the essence of Teachers College. We're making a difference in the world through efforts such as Mary Mendenhall's development of professional development programs for teachers in refugee camps, and Lena Verdelli's work to bring quality and desperately needed mental health services to traumatized populations everywhere. Thanks to Lena's work, TC's clinical psychology program received the American Psychological Association's first award for programs that foster international and global perspectives. TC is making a world of difference here at home, starting with our work at Teachers College Community School, now in its 7th year, and firmly established as a model of university-assisted public schooling. TC is also making a better world out of difference. Our growth in diversity, racial, socioeconomic, and geographic has led to more culturally relevant research and better educational, psychological, and physical care for vulnerable and underrepresented populations. Today, 1 in every 5 TC students comes from outside the United States, and 46% of TC's currently enrolled students who come from within the United States identify as people of color. 11 years ago, that figure, you can applaud. We've worked hard to achieve that. 11 years ago, that figure was 35%. For 22 years, TC's Minority Postdoctoral Fellowship Program has been an essential pipeline to opportunity and advancement for scholars of color, several of whom are now among TC's most esteemed faculty members. In 2015, the college unveiled a curriculum map to guide students through TC's dozens of courses related to race, ethnicity, and intercultural understanding. The MAP's project leader, Amy Stewart Wells, about to be inaugurated as president of the American Educational Research Association next week here in New York, was also behind the creation of our Reimagining Education Institute, which now brings hundreds of educators to campus every summer to learn new methods for advancing learning in racially diverse schools. This year's 10th Academic Festival theme is, appropriately enough, the number 10. But, as delineated by the Roman numeral 10, it is a symbolic crossroads, a joining of paths in a moment of societal crisis, change, and new opportunity. As I said last year at Academic Festival, recent political and societal divisions have made it clear that we need to do more to reframe civics education in our schools and to foster political participation. Thanks to our civics education initiative, TC faculty are pursuing several innovative projects and programs. For example, Mariana Soto Manning is working to create professional development opportunities that prepare pre-K teachers and teacher educators to foster civic awareness and understanding from the earliest years. Lucy Calkins and her Teachers College Reading and Writing Project will soon announce their top 10 list of children's books that spark courageous conversations around civic themes. Ioana Litera is building on her research on how youth engage politically online to create digital media tools and games that advance civic learning and fight the scourge of fake news. And Michael Rebell, along with 16 of his students, is preparing a court case aimed at convincing the Supreme Court that education is a federally insured constitutional right. In his new book, Flunking Democracy, Schools, Courts, and Civic Participation, Michael makes the argument that the school's primary purpose is to prepare students to become responsible, active citizens. Those who want to learn more about this broader topic should not miss this morning's panel on 21st century civics education. The Civics Education Initiative is right in step with Teachers College mission of promoting social justice, strengthening individuals, schools, and communities, and building a brighter future. Speaking of the future, nothing has had a greater college-wide impact or brought our global community of alumni closer together than TC's historic Where the Future Comes First campaign. It seems it was just yesterday that we kicked off a campaign with a 125th anniversary celebration on 125th Street at the Apollo Theater. Welcome to Where the Future Comes First, the campaign for Teachers College.
We unanimously agreed that student support had to be our #1 campaign priority. Our students are essential faculty collaborators, and so many of them go on to serve the public good. In order for this campaign to have a lasting impact for generations to come, we were also determined to mobilize our most precious resource, our 90,000 alumni. And boy, has it worked. Our alumni have rallied to TC like no other time in our history. The X factor of the campaign, what really drove its success, it came from the partnership between our eminent faculty and our passionate donors. Truly, together they came up with so many of the big ideas, from improving the financial literacy of young people, to creating professional development for teaching artists, to preparing the next generation of dance educators. And of course, a centerpiece of the campaign, the launch of a model university-assisted public school.
If you know something about improving education, you've got to put it to use in your own neighborhood. That it's a moral imperative.
This campaign will be remembered as an era when TC grew even more influential and relevant. And our work is having an impact around the world. Population. And it's a special source of pride that TC has become the national address for discussing and debating major issues on education. We have an extraordinarily committed group of core supporters, and we've brought so many of our alumni and friends back into the fold. We're all feeling hopeful and energized to do more. And quite frankly,
Good morning, everyone. Are we energized? I didn't hear it. Are we energized? Okay. All right. Some years ago, in a picturesque North American town, a beautiful baby girl was born by the name of Susan Harriet. Early on, she demonstrated a thirst for knowledge. She went on to become a studious young woman, earning high grades and making wonderful lifelong friends. Many of us in this auditorium have witnessed her talents over the years, as our dear President Furman has been instrumental in the growth of our TC. We have all seen the banner prominently displayed at the entrance of the college and felt proud to welcome her as our first female president. Year after year, she has executed initiative after initiative as part of a well-planned strategy to cement her vision of where she wanted to take TC. In these few minutes, I would like to speak about the Susan you may not know. She is a dedicated wife, loving mother, and a doting grandma. As a professional, she is tireless in her pursuit of educational equality and her commitment to promote civics in education. I would now like to voice the thoughts of so many in this auditorium right here, right now. Thousands of alumni and many of our current students at TC would like to thank Susan Harriet Furman for her extraordinary tenure. TC is not only a highly recognized institution providing rigorous courses of studies, but most importantly, it offers the unique chance to forge strength of character, to make us all take heed of our social responsibility and the power within each one and every one of us to affect our local and global communities. Susan Harriet.
No one has called me that.
I like that name.
Can't remember that.
Countless people have called you many things.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Don't go there. An exceptional leader, a remarkable strategist, and a sharp-witted personality. On the other hand, I am proud to call you a role model, my mentor, and my dearest friend. You have touched my life, and I have become a better person and professional for it. I take pride in being a TC alumna. I am blessed to have the opportunity to be part of the Grace Dodge Society and to be member of the President's Advisory Council. I continue to support the annual Fund Scholars Program and very proud to also support the Susan H. Furman Endowed Scholarship. My motivation in giving to TC to celebrate Susan's incredible work while helping others. I support TC with a blended gift, an outright and a bequest, so that I may support the college now and in the future. I want to encourage all of you to give. Give any amount so that we can simultaneously build the annual fund and the endowment. That is the best way to strengthen our institution and, of course, to honor our great president. Susan Harriet, I'm going to call you that way as the first person that is calling you and thanking you from the bottom of my heart, my dearest friend.
I was fortunately one of the many alumni who have made a huge difference in our campaign. And yes, I am so honored at that incredible presentation. But because of you and so many others, we are in our $300 million goal at $330 million. And 35% of those funds come from alumni donors, which is a huge record. That compares to 9% in our TC's previous campaign. So what a difference. Thank you. We're especially proud of the amount we've raised for student scholarships, which was our first priority. I think that's about $170 million. But it's going to, we don't dwell on that number because it's going to continue. We're never going to stop. And you know that line in the video about, taking a bus instead of a cab. I just want you to know there are very few cities where that actually gets a laugh. But New York certainly being one of them. And every little bit helps when it comes to scholarships, and you can easily add to existing scholarships that benefit faculty that you may have that are named for faculty that you may have studied with here, and that of course help our students immensely, help them avoid crushing debt, and enable them to graduate and represent us and go out and change the world. And stellar examples of how TC alumni change the world are represented by the careers and accomplishments of today's 6 distinguished alumni and early career award winners who we'll meet soon, and by all of TC's award winners, past and present. But just don't take my word for it. See for yourself.
There are so many members of this community, current students, faculty, and alumni who are connected in such profound and powerful ways and able to support one another.
Higher education, administration, and organization.
Social issues around race and science.
Peace education.
The change specialist.
Public health.
Technology and entrepreneurship.
Looking into health from a public advocate, journalistic standpoint.
Genocide, both theory and practice in regard to intervention and prevention.
The first director of the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for African Americans.
I wanted to learn the theory. I was doing the practice.
I can take the education that I received here and really apply it to so many different things.
When I was here, I took a class on group dynamics, and it was a tough class. And I never thought I would ever apply it. I apply it all the time.
A lot of reading, a lot of writing, and a lot of debate. I mean, that's what Teachers College was for me, along with passionate professors.
I was able to take the information that I learned, both in education and the psychology of education and anthropology and all those things, with health planning and health policy, and to come up with a change strategy. And this is what I did in my consulting years for about 25 years in Africa.
My first day at TC, I had a social studies in action class. And I remember going in and just thinking, I can't believe I'm going to get to do this for a living.
I'm a much better CEO today than I would have been had I not gone through the doctoral program, and the skill is the quantitative skill.
I have a privilege of doing something that not only I love, but I really believe in.
I think that, the value of in-classroom educators is extremely important, but so are educators like me who take a lot of the stuff from the classroom and make sure that it gets to the masses.
The mayor declared that it was important to have an asthma center with the borough president and the Department of Health, and I was amongst the first to be hired.
I remember leaving TC, going to Capitol Hill, and walking into rooms being ready to do battle, knowing what I felt was right and what the students that I engaged with needed, and being willing to argue for everything that I believed needed to happen at that moment.
For me, Teachers College just really provided me the confidence, the impetus, and the credential to have the bully pulpit to talk about what we need to be talking about in this country.